Hey guys, what's up? So in today's video, I want to cover Palantir. Now this was one of the most highly anticipated IPOs of 2020. However, they just went public at the beginning of the month, and unlike companies like Snowflake that doubled on the IPO date, Palantir has actually been trading down. So as we can see here on this chart, they went public and they've just kind of gone sideways, and they haven't seen a high demand for the stock as of yet. And just for your guys' reference, it trades under the New York Stock Exchange, ticker symbol PLTR. But anyways, given that this was supposed to be one of the hottest IPOs of 2020, I do want to dive into what they do. I'm also going to play a clip of an analyst and he gives some of his opinions on the stock. And then at the end of the video, I'll give you guys my opinions on Palantir, whether I think it's a buy or not. So one thing that is interesting is that ARK Invest is invested into Palantir a very small amount, but nonetheless, they have put it on their list. So Palantir is in the ARK W fund, but just keep in mind, it's literally 0.01% of their portfolio here. So it couldn't be a smaller amount, very small amount in Palantir, but it's worth following to see maybe if they increase this over time. They really can't decrease it. So yeah, but anyways, it's interesting that ARK W has it on their radar at least. But if you don't know what Palantir actually does, so basically they help institutions with handling their data. So I'll just read this paragraph for you guys. Institutions have the data they need to make the best decisions for safety, stability, and prosperity, but too often their data is fragmented and locked in silos. The people on the front lines of our most important problems don't have the information they need when they need it most. At Palantir, we build software that lets organizations integrate their data, their decisions, and their operations into one platform. Our software empowers entire organizations to answer complex questions quickly by bringing the right data to people who need it. So yeah, this is similar to Snowflake. They basically help companies analyze all their data. Now Palantir is quite different from Snowflake though. A large portion of their revenue comes from the government. So that's looked at as a very secure revenue source. I think about 11% of their total revenue comes from the United States government. Now just taking a look at recent news, this is here, NCATS awards Palantir Technologies 36 million contract to support a secure scientific platforms environment. And then just the day before that, the US Army Research Lab selects Palantir Technologies for 91 million artificial intelligence and machine learning development. So yeah, just in 2 days, they scored some really nice contracts. And yeah, it's just really nice to see that the US Army and government chooses Palantir. It's just a really secure revenue source. So at the very least, they have a little bit of an edge over other data companies when it comes to getting those government contracts. But I do actually have some concerns with Palantir. I want to look at their financials with you guys. Specifically, let's look here, years ended December 31st, so 2018 and 2019. So from 2018 to 2019, they grew their revenues, which is great, from 595 to 742, and this is in millions. So it looks okay at first glance. Revenues increased, their gross profit increased a little bit here, and there's looking down, nothing too alarming. But then you can see here, loss from operations. In 2018 it was 623, and then now in 2019 it was 576 million. And then if we go down to their net loss, in 2018 is 580 million compared to 579 million. So that's quite concerning to me because this isn't a brand new company. They've been around for 17 years, since 2003. And seeing that they're still losing almost 600 million a year isn't really ideal. At some point as an investor, you need to see this company tread towards a path of profitability. If they can't show that they can do that, then I don't see this stock actually taking off. However, maybe now that they're public, they'll be more incentivized to actually be profitable one day. So yeah, it's really important as an investor that every quarter you look at their financial statements and see if they're trending towards profitability. I would say that's probably the most key thing to be looking at with this company right now. And yeah, they have quite a bit of cash on hand. They have about 1.5 billion, but when you're burning through 600 million a year, that's not gonna last forever. So they need to get that cash burn under control, but no risk of bankruptcy, of course. I mean, there probably will never be a risk of bankruptcy. They've been around for 17 years and they have government contracts and backing behind them, and they can probably figure out the cash situation. But just as an investor who's looking at this company, that is something I would need to see before jumping into the stock. So yeah, for you guys who are investing in them already or are thinking about it, just make sure you're keeping an eye on those financials. And so because of course they're a public company, they have to lay out some of the risks. And of course, one of those risks is profitability and burning through cash. So it says here, we've incurred losses each year since our inception. We expect our operating expenses to increase and we may not become profitable in the future. That really is the main concern of this company. So let's briefly read what they say here. We've incurred losses each year since our inception, including net losses of 580 million and 570 million in 2018 2019, and net losses of 280 million and 167 million for the 6 months ended June 2019 and 2020. And then it basically goes on to say that they might never meet profitability, which is something they just have to say. So yeah, my main concern with the company is that they're burning through a lot of cash. However, it is promising just to see that in the 6 months ending in 2019 and 2020, that in 2019 they burned 280 million, but in 2020, the first 6 months, they burned 164 million. So that's quite a bit less, and that could mean that they are actually prioritizing becoming profitable. So I do like to see that. But anyways, let's play a clip of this analyst. He basically says that he believes there's a 50% upside in Palantir over the next 3 to 6 months. So I'm gonna roll the clip for you guys to see what he says.
It was a brave decision for them to go via direct listing. This was widely expected, but I think this company needed to educate investors. And over the next, call it 3, 6, 9, 12 months, they have their work cut out. They need to educate investors about, are you a services company? Where are you with the transformation from services to product and so on and so forth? As far as the company trying to carve a pathway to profitability, it's going to be a hard one from here on out. They are, I believe, banking on the fact that they have this tailwind from COVID, that more enterprises need data analytics software that Palantir has created. And if that tailwind sustains in the next, call it 6, 9, 12, 18 months, that pathway to profitability is much faster than what Street may be modeling today. I still think in our model, we think this company would probably burn cash over the next, call it 18 to 24 months. Beyond that, it's hard to predict. So from what we know, I don't feel that this company should turn profitability anytime soon. Again, from a gap perspective, I mean to say.
Right, Rohit, we are racing towards a hard break. So very quickly, on the upside for the stock from here, given all the projections you have on profitability.
We put out like a initial fair value estimate around $14. So that's where I feel in the next call it 3 to 6 months the stock should trend towards. But probably in the next 5 days we are going to see more weakness.
Okay, so do I think Palantir is a buy or not? Well, let me just first point out that they have a market cap of about 15 billion. And is generating around 800 million a year right now, which gives them a price to sales ratio of about 15. So this isn't nearly as bad as Snowflake, that is a price to sales, I think, around 100. So it's definitely not ridiculously expensive. So I wouldn't be overly worried about the valuation, being that they're a software company in the cloud and transitioning more into the public markets, and they'll probably start prioritizing profitability and expanding their business with this newfound revenue of going public. So as an investor, you need to make a decision, is now a good time to buy or should you be waiting? Well, I'm trying to figure out why this stock hasn't shot up like something like a Snowflake, and I think that comes down to 2 reasons. One, they're not growing at 120% year over year like Snowflake. I think they're growing around 30 to 40%, which is still very good. And then 2 is that they've been around for 17 years and haven't been profitable yet. I think that's gonna scare Wall Street away for a while. So what I would do personally is that I would actually wait until the next quarter and even maybe the quarter after that to see how their financial situation is developing. If you see over the next 2 quarters that they're becoming closer to profitability, then I think at this price, Palantir is definitely a buy. So yeah, me personally, I would wait the next 2 quarters just to make sure that they are cutting costs and are eventually going to be profitable. But if that's not your concern, then I don't think right now is a bad opportunity to buy. I would just dollar cost average though, because they're not shooting up right now. They're actually downtrending a bit. So I don't see any kind of rush of jumping into the stock. I would just slowly invest into them over the next few months if that's what you're wanting to do. But yeah, anyways, there's a lot more to cover in Palantir. This is just a very brief overview and introduction into the company. I would really like to do a more in-depth video into their financials and what they're actually targeting and everything. So if you guys are interested in to see a video like that, comment down below and let me know. And if you got any kind of value out of this video, please drop a thumbs up on it. It really helps out the channel and gives me more motivation to put out videos like this. And feel free to subscribe if you want to see more stock related content. I post almost every day of the week. Anyways, that's all I have for this video, guys. Thanks for watching till the end, and I'll see you in the next video.